Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the weekly. This is your update video from Monday, August 8th, 2022. It is an absolute delight to be with you all today. And thank you for taking a few minutes to check this out. I know everybody watches at different points throughout the week. Of course, we stream live on Mondays. We don't really have like a set time when we stream live, but that may be changing soon. We may be going to a setup where we have a specific time that we will stream every single Monday. And if that happens, then you'll know. And you can tune in live if you wish. But I know a lot of you like to watch this afterwards, and that works perfectly fine as well. In fact, I almost recommend it. That way you can speed it up and just get through it quicker. But for those of you joining live, thanks so much for doing so. And for those watching after, just enjoy the way that we're able to bend the space-time continuum here in 2022. I've got three things for you all today that I want to walk through, and then we'll be on our way. Before we jump into all of that, I would like to recap our cookout that we had last night with the choir. There were several of you who were watching that attended that last night. We had several returning members to the choir who joined in, and we had several who are going to be new, either joining us for the first time this fall or returning after some time away. And we are just so thrilled to welcome all of you back, whether new, returning, or long-term members of the choir. Last night, it was nice and muggy, and we even got to set the evening up with a nice little rain shower. But it was certainly a good time for the soul. It was a good time to meet together, to have some fellowship, to get excited, to build some new relationships moving forward. And so I just want to express my appreciation for you all valuing that connection. That is really important as a team that serves together. It's an important for any team, but especially for the body of Christ. It's important that we make time to do life together in that regard. So thank you for all of you who made last night a priority and came out. I'll get to the first rehearsal that's coming up soon here in just a moment. But I certainly wanted to take time to highlight that. And I'm wanting to do more of those get-togethers for individual groups within the worship team. For those of you who serve in the production area, for those of you who are worship leaders, to those of you who serve in the band or the horn section. I like to do things that are specific to individual areas. Now, my philosophy, and maybe this is a good time to just set this up really quickly, and then we'll jump into the agenda. My philosophy for how I structure our team is that I believe that we are one team who is after one set of values, one vision, and one set of goals. And that means that whether you work behind the scenes, running a camera, or doing something in the technical arts side, or whether you're on stage as a performer, as a musician, even to those of you who work as artists, some of you have served as photographers on the team before, or visual artists, painters, all of you involved with the worship team. I see us as one team with one vision, with one mission, with one purpose, with one set of core values. But within the team, obviously a large team like that has many smaller groups and opportunities for connection. And so I want to hold those two things in balance as we build and grow the team, and as we continue to add new team members, is that we are one team. I want you to have to strive to make connections across the team, and I want you to strive to deepen the connections within the individual areas in which you serve. But that's just a little bit of an aside there. Let's jump into the schedule for today because there are a few things that I think are important. The first thing that I'm going to mention is really important because the window of opportunity has already closed, but I'm going to creep it back open just a little bit for about the next 30 seconds. So if you have not submitted your blockout dates for September and October, please go and do so. Let me clarify. This is for those of you who are serving with the production team and with the band. Choir folks, you do not at this point need to be putting in blockout dates. That could change down the road, and if it does, I'll let you know. But for now, choir folks, you do not need to submit blockout dates. We just need those from those of you serving in the band or serving on the production team. Please make sure those blockouts get submitted. If you have questions on how to do so, because I know that there are some of you who are new, check out the weekly update video from 2 weeks ago. That would have been July 25th, I believe. I'm trying to think where we are here. I think that was July 25th. Either way, last week's was August 1st. Whatever the one was before that, go check it out. And that'll give you all the information that you need to know there. Those of you who are team leaders, this is you are free now to go ahead and submit, compile your schedules. After you compile your schedules, please remember that you need to send out the service requests. If you go in and schedule people and you don't send out service requests, yes, they could go into their schedule and they can see, hey, you've been scheduled for a service. However, if they're not in the habit of that, or if they don't know where to locate that in the app, they won't see those requests, and they could miss those days. So please make sure that you go in and send out your email notifications. I believe all of you know how to do that. You've done it several times, but if it slipped your memory or if you need a refresher, do feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to provide that refresher. Blockout dates. There you go. I've kind of walked through the importance of that the last couple of weeks. So check out the last 2 update videos if you need a refresher on that. Otherwise, I think we should be rocking and rolling for September and October here in just about another week, which I'm excited about. The part of me that enjoys planning, enjoys that process. The part of me that resists being managed and controlled by other people totally understands what you guys feel whenever I reach out to you and ask you to put in your blockout dates. But you all are good sports. I appreciate your help with this. All right, number 2 today, I want to talk about the choir rehearsals, which are beginning soon. This is for the adult choir rehearsals. I should walk through, maybe I'll do that in the next week or 2, walk through the children's choir stuff with you guys. They're not going to start until September 14th this year, which is a Wednesday night, and probably a week after all the normal kids stuff starts. The reason for that is I'm going to be at a conference, and some of the leaders here on the team are going with me to a conference in September, the first week during the week of Labor Day. But we'll be there through we'll be coming back late on the 7th. So that's why we're starting Children's Choir on the 14th. All of that is just an aside to the fact that on Sunday, August 21st, we will be starting the adult choir rehearsals. Now, I need for you to remember, number 1, those rehearsals will be on Sunday afternoons, 3 to 5 p.m., and we'll be down in the chapel. You should be able to park down by the chapel and come in that way. Otherwise, you can come in the main entrance and make your way down to the chapel. I want to remind all of you who are participating as well that if you've not signed up to participate with choir, take an opportunity and go sign up. What that's going to help me with is just planning from a repertoire standpoint, where we've got several things kind of queued in the queue for possibilities for this fall, but until I have a firm number of how many voices we're going to have per part and who's going to be participating, it's more difficult to land the plane on some of those selections. So if you're planning to participate and you have not signed up, take just a moment. It will really only take about 60 seconds. Click on the link. I've included it with the description of this video. Click on the link, go sign up, and let me know you're going to be there. You will... I've got a bunch of information here for those of you who are new to the choir that hopefully should be helpful for you. Those who are returners, this will be a good reminder, but you will receive your music at the first choir rehearsal. So at this point, if you have signed up for choir, the only thing that's required of you is to just come on the 21st at 3 o'clock p.m., and then we'll take care of you from there. Everything else is good to go. We do use for planning and for communication, rehearsal tracks, things like that, we use Planning Center Online. Now, if you've watched my videos here for a while, I've given lots of tutorials on Planning Center. But several of you new folks who are joining the choir, you will not have access to Planning Center yet, and even if you do, you'll probably need some training on how we use it and how we're going to use it for the choir, which you'll get all of that at the first rehearsal. We'll make sure you get signed up with a Planning Center account, and then I'll take time, I'll put it up on the projector, and I'll show you how we're actually going to use Planning Center. But that'll be important as we go along. I've actually, for this year, created a new service type in Planning Center called Adult Choir Rehearsals. And each week I'll put the order of rehearsal in there, kind of a rough plan of what we have. And then I've got a plan set up where we'll put all of the music for the fall into that one plan. So you've got one spot that you can go to listen to all the tracks and to see the repertoire that we're going to do. And then of course I'll pull it as we do it throughout the fall. I've talked about those of you in Planning Center. Okay, so the other thing too is with our rehearsal tracks, we upload them to Planning Center, so you can access them there. Those of you who've used SoundCloud, some people are really familiar with it, others not. It's an easy service to use. You just download an app to your device, and you can access the tracks. But we upload our rehearsal tracks to SoundCloud as well, so that you can listen to all of the soprano rehearsal tracks if you're a soprano, or all the tenor rehearsal tracks if you're a tenor. Those links will be shared as we start to finalize some of the repertoire. Something new for this year, and this is an important point to note, it won't affect many of you, I'll say that, but I know it will affect some of you, and that is we will not be making physical CD copies this year of the rehearsal tracks. That's something that I'm wanting to make a firm break with, and I know I've probably sold out to modernity that I'm not making physical copies of things anymore, but it really is a big cost savings and a big time savings for us here in the office if we don't have to manage that process of making physical copies of the rehearsal tracks. If you can make the leap, if you've not made the leap to digital, and you've got the capacity and the technology to do that, that is the thing to do. Go ahead and make that jump, and either access them on SoundCloud or access them on Planning Center. Most of the choir does this, I'll say that. So there are plenty of people who can help you make that jump. If for some reason this is impossible, you have to have the CD track, and it's really impossible. It's not just a luxury, but you come to me and you say, "Hey, it's impossible. I have to have the CD." Well, come and talk to me. We'll figure something out there. For everybody else, let's make this jump together and make sure that we can kind of tighten up the processes as far as getting rehearsal tracks out there. Okay, that's about it there. But I don't think it's going to be a big deal for anybody. But I want to explain why we're making that clean break this year with the rehearsal tracks. Final two things here. Number one, keep promoting the choir. Keep pushing it out there. We've done a lot of push here, but spread the, we really will continue to grow by word of mouth. You'll know I've mentioned several times this summer that my goal for our choir for 2022, 2023 is I want to have 100 people involved in serving with the choir. I really believe in what we do that much. And we try to make the choir an opportunity that will appeal to a broad base of folks. There's a very low bar of entry, and we also try to make the commitment from week to week and the performances as manageable as possible. All that to say, the joy of being together and making music, I mean, it is it's a very high and lofty goal to attain to, as is serving our people well through that gift of music. So I want to continue to promo that because I want folks to know that there's an opportunity to belong and be a part there. The final thing, I just wanted to touch on this as we've got several new folks, and I think it'll be helpful even for those of you who are returning. But I want to talk a little bit about rehearsal etiquette. I've got just a few things that I try not to give you like a million rules that you have to follow. My big things are kind of three things, and that's be on time, be prepared, and be respectful. Be on time, be prepared, be respectful. Those three things. If you're following that, if you're always thinking through like, okay, am I on time? Am I going to get there at a time that's going to respect everyone else's time and allow us to be efficient with our time? Am I prepared? Am I actually taking time week to week to plan or to prepare the material so that whenever we get to performance time, we're serving our people well? And then respectful. Think about the fact that there were a large group of people gathered together. There's different rules for that than there are for just 2 or 3 people hanging out. So think about that. Be on time, be prepared, be respectful. Within those, here are just some points within those that I've noticed that we can that will make us excellent. The first one is be in your seat ready to go at 3 p.m. sharp. That's the be on time aspect. And then the practical outworking of that is Sunday afternoons. I know you're going to get out of church. I know Sunday afternoons tend to be more chill time, generally speaking, not all of you. I know I'll say that and somebody will say, no, I run 17 miles every Sunday afternoon. That's awesome. That's great. I'm very impressed if that's you. But generally speaking, Sunday afternoons tend to be chill time. But just make that concerted effort. If you know it takes you 10 minutes to drive to church, leave 15 minutes early so that you can grab your music, be in your seat, and be ready to go by 3 p.m. sharp. Second thing is make sure you come with all your music to rehearsal. I'm going to encourage you to carry your music back and forth so that you can rehearse during the week. But just make sure to bring it back and make sure you have a number 2 pencil that you can take notes, because we do give lots of notes in our music. When you ask questions during rehearsal, think about this. Ask questions that pertain to the whole ensemble. I know sometimes I don't mind it as much, I should say, early on in the performance season when folks stop and ask for individual parts to be played and things like that. Totally understand. As we get closer to performance time, those questions about what does my part sound like, we don't need to address those in the broader rehearsal time. Those are things you need to work out on your own with your rehearsal tracks, or we'll also, during that 3 to 5 p.m. schedule from week to week, we'll also have times when we do sectionals. So that's a good thing to work out in your sectional time. If there's a part you're struggling with, make note of it, work it out in your sectional time, and then commit yourself to only asking questions that pertain to the whole ensemble then. The next to last thing here, commit to attending. If you don't have any schedule constraints, My expectation is that you would attend rehearsal every single week from 3 to 5 p.m. Now, some of you do have some scheduling constraints, and you've talked to me and you've worked them out with me, and I am always happy to work those out. What I want is whatever we've worked out together, whatever you've committed to, make that commitment and be a part of it. So if it's I can only attend 3 weeks out of each month, there's 1 week that I have some special circumstance, whatever it may be. That's fine. I'm not going to expect you to be there the week that you have the conflict, but I will. My expectations will be that you're there the other 3 weeks, that you will commit to the time that you've dedicated. Rehearsal is less important for the individual than it is for the collective, and so whenever you miss rehearsal, some people miss and they think, oh, that's, they're not going to care that I'm gone or my part's not that important. Well, that's just not true. It is important. And every person we have missing, it impacts the entire ensemble. So I'm going to ask you to commit to being there. And then final thing is just dedicate yourself to the joy of music making. It is true that we have a mission. We want to serve our people and enrich their lives through the songs that we sing and the words that we use to exhort them. But remember that God is worshipped when we enjoy and we take pleasure in the good things that He's made. And one of the finest things that He has made in all of creation is music. And He's created a universe that has the capacity for music making. And the beautiful thing is He's given just this infinite variety of musical expression that we can dive into, and it's good. And it's good. What I wanted to say is that it is good enough that we do so just for the mere pleasure of making music. That's good enough. And that is a high aim in and of itself. So I want you to dedicate yourselves to that. Because in the pursuit of serving the Lord and His kingdom, the pursuit of serving our people, don't ever lose the joy of making music. Very good. Well, that's all I have for you on the choir front. I'm just thrilled to be started with our 2022-2023 performance season, and I think it's going to be a really great year. Like I said, I'm excited for those of you who are coming back, and very excited to continue to meet those of you who are new to the team. Okay, final thing today. This is more of kind of like a vision moment that I want to give out to you. Whenever I try often to keep the big picture in front of you. I struggle with leadership whenever I'm a part of, whether it be teams or organizations or events or activities or whatever. In the past, I've struggled with leadership that does not provide consistent, clear callbacks to what the big picture is, and does so in a way that's fresh continually. So I try to keep this in front of you continually. And one of the things that we've done over the last few years is I've talked about our 5 core values, which kind of drive our vision for our team. And I think it would be good for me to probably do an update on that in the coming weeks. And if you're interested, you can actually go on our YouTube channel. I think there's a team night playlist there, but back in September of 2018 or 2019, we did a team night, and I walked through the big kind of 5 core values that we really focus on as a team. And if you watch that, you'll get a pretty good idea of what I'm talking about there. But one of the things, one of the core values that's really big to our team that I talk about all of the time, and that I think I have a difficult time of communicating the extent to which this is really important to me and really important for our church. That core value is singing and congregational singing. I have become convinced over the last few years that one of the most important things that a congregation and an individual believer can do to foster their spiritual development is sing. There is a reason why there's such a rich singing tradition amongst followers of Christ, and it is to our detriment that we have that we have neglected it in our current epoch of time as believers. And so I want to take just a moment here as I wrap up the video. I know I've already gone kind of long, but as I wrap up today's update video, I want to take just a moment and walk through 7 things that I would love to see our singing accomplish, and that I think our singing together should accomplish. These are 7 realities that drive me and that I think are biblical and that I think all believers in all times should strive for. Okay, so let's wrap it up today. I'll go through these really quick and not give extensive commentary on either one of them. I'll spare you the extensive commentary, but I at least want you to have a glimpse into my world whenever I talk about singing and its importance. This is what I think about. So the first thing today, 7 things that our singing should accomplish. Number 1, it should shape our appetites. Our appetites are important things, and in fact, the gospel. The promise of the Holy Spirit in our lives is that He changes us. He changes what we want. And all throughout Scripture, we see the Lord constantly communicating to His people that I don't want your rituals, I want your heart. Now, the rituals should shape the heart. But if they don't, if they're being engaged with in an inauthentic way, or in a way that is merely devoid of life, then they won't shape the heart, and they're useless to the Lord. Our singing should be so robust, and it should be so efficacious that it should shape our appetites. And that's what I want to see happen. The second thing is, I want to see our singing inspire zeal and ambition for Christ and His kingdom. And not just zeal and ambition that is personal fire that burns within you, but zeal and ambition that actually shapes what you do in the broader culture and the world around you. You know, I was listening to the news this morning, and Indiana over the weekend, or maybe at the end of last week, their legislator passed some pretty extensive abortion restriction laws within the state, of which I'm absolutely thrilled. I cherish every pro-life, all the pro-life ground that has been taken here in the last few months. But as a response to that, a couple of big companies that are headquartered in Indiana, 2 of them being Eli Lilly and Salesforce, made statements over the weekend that they're now going to take measures to move their operations out of the state, to start drawing on talent from outside of the state, and really they're making a political stance against the state of Indiana because of their legislation for abortion, of their pro-life legislation against abortion. And I think, wouldn't it be great if we had ambitious, godly Christian CEOs sitting at the heads of Fortune 500 companies who would walk in and take their place, and who would bring life to those regions in the absence of those who are leaving, who favor a culture of death, really. And that's what I want our singing to inspire. I want our singing to inspire men and women who will be zealous for the kingdom of Christ, and who will do ambitious things within the culture to continue to bring His kingdom on earth. The third thing that I want our singing to accomplish is I want it to broaden our knowledge and experience of the Psalms. In our day, we neglect the Psalms to our detriment. There is a richness of expression that's within the Psalms that is hardly ever touched by the modern worship movement. And I don't want to. The modern worship movement is very broad, so I don't want to just wipe it away with one brushstroke. Please, I should correct my wording there. But I will say there's a lot of modern worship songs that do not touch the breadth of expression that is within the Psalms. And our singing, I want it to encompass everything that is expressed within the Psalms, because I think it shapes us fully into the image of Christ. The fourth thing is I want to see a reawakening of the daily practice of family worship within the household. This is so critical, and in past ages, this was an expectation of every believing household within the congregation, and I want to see a renaissance of this within our own people, within our own team, the daily practice of family worship, and it's to do so, and having the deep desire to do this with their children. Also, I want our singing to promote broad biblical literacy amongst all of the believers in our church. I want, my ideal is that our people should know everything about the scriptures and about who God is from the songs that they sing. I know that that's a little bit hyperbolic, but I hope you get the sentiment there. The other thing, number 6, I want to preserve and promote a rich tradition of psalm and hymn singing that we pass on to the next generation. Again, I think that we should continue to write new songs and sing new songs and sing modern worship songs. Don't hear what I'm not saying here, but I think that it's important that we sing songs that are, going to have some staying power. And then the final thing that I want our singing to accomplish is I want to continue to see the reform of culture on a global scale. I desire desperately for the kingdom of Christ to spread across the earth, that the world be full of the knowledge of Christ as the waters are, as the waters cover the deep. I want that. I think that is the hope for all mankind, and I want our singing to be so robust that it inspires that kind of cultural transformation. Okay, well, hey, we have gone extra long today, but I appreciate you all sticking with me. Hope you all have a great week. I'm excited to serve with you all again this weekend. And of course, the fall is coming. Exciting things are on the way. You guys have a good one, and we'll talk soon.